I think if I hear you call me Becky one more time, six-pack, I'm gonna pop your tops. All six of them.
Who are you?
It's 1909. You're in Austria, and you're alone with a young artist named Adolf Hitler.
Mm-hmm.
Do you kill him? Do you murder him there, even though he hasn't done anything yet? Because you know you'll save all those millions of people.
Absolutely not.
You let all those people die knowing you could do something about it?
I didn't say that. What I said was...
You don't say anything. You just talk and say nothing so many times that people think you're saying something.
What I would do, Luke, if you would let me finish, is talk to the man. Try to show him the error of his ways to the best of my ability. Challenge his ideas, exchange thoughts, provoke change by intelligent debate.
Hey, this is Matt once again. Welcome back to another review. This is another request for Andrew. And first off, requests can be made either sending it directly to my PayPal or joining my Patreon. Links are down below in the info box. It could be for pretty much anything, review, movie topic, reaction, whatever type of video. But the film he wanted me to talk about was The Last Supper. And when I saw the title, I thought, oh, okay, it's some religious movie. But then when I saw the poster, I went, oh, no, okay, I've heard of this film, but I had never seen it until now. And I'm glad I did, because this was a really, really interesting film. I would say this is an underrated movie. It's a black comedy. Well, I say that, I don't think it was hilarious, but it was... The idea is you have these 5 very liberal graduate school students. One of them includes Cameron Diaz. One's Courtney B. Vance, who I've seen in films like I See You, among others. But they get together every week to discuss politics, all sorts of stuff. And so one day, one of them's late, and someone helped him out, and it's Bill Paxton. They bring him as a guest, and then throughout the dinner you realize Bill Paxton's character is a pretty racist guy. He denies the Holocaust. He talks about how Hitler had the right idea. Very much a racist, and yeah, he was in Desert Storm, but he's also about protesters for pussies. If you take a stand for something you kill for, that's something special. One lean leads to another. Bill Paxton, he goes overboard. One leads to another. It ends with his death. They all freak out. They have to wonder what to do. And then they start having an idea to invite other people. And their plan is, we're going to reason with them. If we can change their mind and their opinion, good. But if not, we'll give the signal and poison them to make the world a better place. And so they invite reverend who doesn't like homosexuals, a guy who is very much misogynistic and almost a rape apologist, a guy who's against the environment, a guy who he's the Nation of Islam, but he's also a racist against other cultures, one who's against abortions, which the reason because they say, if I have to kill someone, I'm going to stop someone from killing their baby, which is a really stupid thing when you think about it, but it's just a really intriguing idea, especially in today's age of PC culture and cancel culture and all that. They have these 5 people that think it's their right, that they keep bringing people, and granted, the first couple of people are vile human beings. They're fucking vile human beings. And you get some pretty recognizable actors. Like Charles Durning plays the Reverend who's against homosexuals. Mark Harmon from Summer School plays the guy who's misogynistic. I mentioned Bill Paxton in the beginning plays the racist guy. Jason Alexander plays the guy who's against the environment. And just the way the movie plays out, I'm not sure if it's the director that really had a hand in making this so good, because the director would go on to direct films like The Bye Bye Man and Hood of Horror, Snoop Dogg's Hood of Horror. So it makes me wonder if it's more the writing, which I looked up the writers. I don't recognize what they've done since. There was nothing recognizable. But again, this day and age, I'm surprised this is not a film that's been brought back up and held into a little higher light. It's such a really, I don't know, something about it, just a really interesting idea, and how these people become full of themselves as if they're so righteous, but then throughout the film, they're finding that they're less inclined to do their original plan, which was to talk them out of it, to reason with them, to help them change their minds. And throughout the film, they stop doing that. And then they start trying to poison people that, for the little semblance of wrongdoing. Even some people in the group are going, this is ridiculous. Like a woman who, she didn't really do much, and even Cameron Diaz like, this is bullshit, and escorts her out. Or another one, they kill, and some of the dialogue is funny. What are you doing? She was just illiterate. Okay, we're getting out of hand. And one guy I gotta mention is Ron Perlman, because he's this conservative pundit, and throughout the movie you see him on TV saying these outrageous things, saying these outrageous things. And the scenes between him and this group are very interesting. For example, at the beginning of the film, one of the notions that bring this group of 5 to this conclusion to do this is, well, what would you do if you went back in time and you saw Hitler and you knew what would happen, but he hasn't done anything wrong yet? And they all go, I would kill him. Save the people for the Holocaust. They asked Ron Perlman the same thing. And his answer, because they asked, would you kill him? He goes, no. Like, really? You wouldn't kill him? You let so many people die? He said, well, I didn't say that. I said I wouldn't kill him because, how do you put it? I want to see if I can change his mind. I want to see if I can open him up to new ideas. I want to see if I can challenge his thinking. And like the way he talks, the other five are like, shit. And part of him's like, oh, well, he's just saying this because he's a politician, but yet some of the stuff he's saying is making sense. Like Ron Perlman says, hey, you have harmful people on the extreme left, and you have harmful people on the extreme right, which is true. And getting more into spoilers starting now, I do recommend the film. I do recommend it because I think it does touch base on the society of how we can feel so righteous that we will cancel someone, even though if you look in the mirror. And with that said, you can give your opinion, and that's fine. You give your dissenting opinion, and that's fine as well. But then, how extreme are you going to take it? Are you going to stalk them? Are you going to stalk them to their pages and hound them 85 times and push their psyche more and more? Or are you going to do physical harm or physical danger? Like how far are you going to take it and go? And sadly, in this day and age, some people do take it far. It's one thing like me, I go on my channel, I give an opinion, and that's it. Or I go on my Facebook and I give an opinion, and that's it. That's one thing. But then like how far are you going to take it? And so with a film, let's take it to the extreme. And that's the thing, it's like you kind of whiff these characters at the beginning. It's like, well, these people kind of do deserve it. But you see their de-evolution of, well, that person didn't really deserve it. And that person tried to recant, and they kind of changed his mind, which was... And then other stuff happens. And then Ron Perlman, I mean, just, it was pretty surprising, the cast in this. You need to see Jason Alexander and Bill Paxton. Rest in peace, Bill Paxton. Ron Perlman, who's, I would say my favorite character in the movie was Ron Perlman. And the way it ended was pretty satisfying in a way. Spoilers, starting now, spoilers. They start debating. They're in another room. Ron Perlman's looking around, and he's noticing certain things. He kind of pieces together what's going on. And he pieces together, oh, they're going to try to poison me. But then the other people, they're talking about it, and then they kind of recant. Like, it seems as if they're going to change their mind. They're going to stop doing this. But no one knows what the other is thinking, so the five come back, and Ron Perlman's like, oh, I poured you drinks. Oh, don't worry, I didn't use that one bottle. So it's this sort of ironic bit where as soon as they recant, they in a way get punished for their previous crimes. Like they seem like maybe they won't do this anymore. And almost in a way, Ron Perlman did what he said he wouldn't do. Like he said he wouldn't kill Hitler. But on the flip side, I can't blame him, because I'm like, if I'm thinking these five people are going to try to poison me, who knows what the hell else they're going to do, I'm going to get to them first. So I can't really blame Ron Perlman's point of view either. So some people may feel it's a bit more of a cynical ending, or a bit more of a whatever word they want to use. But to me, I just found it satisfying. Like, you guys still murdered people. I told you some that were not that bad. And even the people that were really bad, yeah, they deserve a punch in the face, but that's different from killing them. But yeah, I thought it was a really interesting way to bring up the subject. I thought the cast did their jobs well. I thought it was nice to see sort of the guest appearances. Ron Perlman was fun. Bill Paxton played a different kind of role, which was interesting. And yeah, just thought it was a really well-written movie that brought up subject matter that you'd be hard-pressed to find today. But I think it's a movie that deserves a little bit more than it's gotten. And it says 95. I don't know how to put it as 95 or 96. This is what I hate, on a side note, is that a movie comes out in a festival in 95, so all the places say IMDb, Wikipedia, wherever, 95. But the only time people were able to see it was 96. But it's 95 because it's in one festival. So what the fuck? Do I put 95 or do I put 96? I might as well put 95 because this is IMDb 95. It's a side note, but it's fucking irritating. But anyway, The Last Supper, I think is well worth a look. If you don't like it, you don't like it. But I thought it was a really interesting take, especially in the climate of today. I really like the story and the acting. So, with that said, thanks for watching. Take care. We'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.